Hi there, it's me again. I thought it would be good to record this for myself as much as anything else. Um, as many of you will have read on the forum, I suffer from severe depression, but people find it hard to believe the way I act because I try so hard to be positive, to act positive, to be positive for other people, to be strong for other people. And my hope is that, eventually I become that. I really feel that positivity. It's not that I'm putting it on, I am. It's hard to describe, really. I'm kind of trying to be what I want to be, um, but life is a big struggle for me because I've got chronic fatigue syndrome. Every day feels like a hard slog, like I'm just carrying around a massive sack of potatoes everywhere I go, and I never get relief from it. Um, but the last couple of days, yeah, yesterday and today, have been good. Relatively good. I've had like a little bit of energy, not like a lot of energy, but enough so that I could do a few things without it feeling like an absolute grind. I haven't had to just sort of dig in and force myself to do it. I was like, oh, I can actually do this. I mean, obviously I didn't do very much compared to what a normal person would do, but for me it was a lot. And I had to. The thing is with chronic fatigue syndromes, you have to be very careful because when this happens, it's so tempting to go mental and go, right, I've got a bit of energy, I'm going to do everything, all the things I've been wanting to do. And then the next day or week even, you're fucked, and you could spend all week in bed because you've overdone it. It's that easy. It's called the boom buster syndrome, informally. And everyone with ME has experienced it, I think. So it's kind of a discipline that when you get a bit of energy to, use some of it, but don't use all of it and don't go mental. So I was careful yesterday to leave a bit in the tank. And today, this morning, I feel like I've got a little bit of energy, and I can't even remember what it's like to have actual energy. Like a normal person. When I was healthy, I used to be full of energy. I'd go roller skating all day, like 10 hours, or play basketball and run around constantly for 2 hours. That just seems like another life to me now. But yesterday and today, my depression has eased just a little bit as well. Things have been a bit more bearable. Because I haven't had to force myself like that, and having to force myself brings its own problems, because then I'm always mentally having to psych myself up for it. Right, I'm going to have to force myself to do this and this. But when I've got a bit of energy, it's like, oh, I can do this. I don't have to go through that sort of mental grueling beforehand. The thing is, I've gone through this before, where it seems like I'm improving. A few years ago, I had like a really good summer where I had several weeks where it seemed like I was really making an improvement, and it seemed on the cards I might even get better. And then out of nowhere, I just dive bombed, and I was back to being very ill again. And this has happened over and over again. Just go up and down. I've become very good at managing it, but no matter what I do, I just seem to go up and down like this, like it's out of my control. So I don't want to get too excited about it, but I thought, you guys might want to hear a bit more about me, and I thought I could look back on this when I'm feeling really bad and remember that I did have a day like this, a day where things seemed a little bit more bearable. I'm sitting in the sunshine and I'm actually enjoying it, just enjoying sitting here being peaceful rather than being plagued by negative suicidal thoughts and just psyching myself up for the next thing I've got to do all the time. So for me, this is happy. This is as happy as I've been from what I can remember, but you know, it's not on a normal scale, because you know that old me, the normal me, is kind of like dead. You know, well, maybe not dead, but in stasis. And I live in hope that it will come back. But that's the thing with chronic fatigue syndrome. There's no guarantee it will come back ever. Some people it doesn't, and I highly suspect that people who do get better quite possibly didn't have the same thing I've got, but in fact had similar symptoms, but for different reasons. The reasons can be addressed, if you see what I mean. You know, it could be anything from stress to health to anything. It's a very poorly understood condition. There's no treatment for it at all, nothing. They're working on it. They can't diagnose it even. There's no test for it. It's done by a process of elimination. They test you for other things it could be, and if they run out of things to test, then they just say, oh, well, it's chronic fatigue syndrome. So it's probably an umbrella of loads of different conditions. You know, some clever ass said, you know, there's as many versions of ME as there are people with ME. You know, sort of like Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I wanted to mark this moment and to share a little bit with you, because you know, this community means an awful lot to me. Probably don't realise how much. You know, I don't get to go out of the house hardly at all. I don't have the energy, and I don't have the money to travel and go anywhere and see anyone. So this is like my social life, and you know, I feel like I've made some very good friends here, and I hope one day, you know, I get to meet some of you. It'd be amazing. Alright, well, I'll say goodbye to now. It's enough drivel from me. I'll see you guys on the forum.